Hello there, it's Alana Tuckey, lead faculty for Math 133, and I need to give you a little bit of guidance on task number 6 for project 2. So in case you missed it, this is a goodness of fit test that you're doing here. You can kind of tell because it's asking for expected frequency and observed frequencies. That's kind of a sign. So I, of course, can't do this particular problem. For one thing, that would be what you're doing for your project, and for another thing, I don't have a bag of M&Ms to test any of this with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do a goodness of fit test from the notes right here. This was page 4 of the chapter 12 notes, but of course that's not what it is in the course pack. So if you just open up the course pack and look for 12.1 and then get a couple pages into it, and you should see this pie chart problem. So it says the pie chart shows the distribution of the opinions of U.S. parents on whether a college education is worth the expense. An economist believes that the distribution of opinions of U.S. teenagers is different from the distribution of U.S. parents. The economist randomly selects a group of U.S. teens and asks whether a college education is worth the expense. Okay, so here's the observed values from that survey that economist did of U.S. teens. And over here is the percentage of what the parents think. And I believe in an earlier problem, let me go back just a little bit. I think we have you up right here. We have us calculate these. So let me just show you how to do this in case you missed that. So what you do is you take the percentage that you expect, which is coming from this pie chart, and you're going to multiply it by 200 because that's your sample size. So in this case, there were 200 teens polled, so it would be your sample size is 200. So you would multiply, let's see, for the strongly agree, that would be 0.55. Hold on one second. There it is. 0.55 times, what was it? 200. And I would just find what this is with a calculator, with Excel, something like that. So I grab Excel. So it was 0.55. Matter of fact, I'm going to use Excel to do all of these. 0.30, 0.05, 0.06, and 0.04, I believe is the last category. There they are. So I'm just going to multiply each one of these by 200. So equals that cell times 200, enter. And then Excel will figure all this out for me. So wonderful. So it's multiplying 0.30 times 200, 0.05 times 200, and so on. So it gives me these numbers, right? So this one would be 110, and then so on. 60, 10, 12, etc. If I can get my computer to work. There we go. 10, 12, and 8, I believe it was. Okay, so those are the expected values. And then later on, we see that same table again. Oopsie, I've gone too far. Right here. 110, 60, 10, 12, 8. So that's where those came from. So it was each of these percentages times 200. Of course, this was a survey of 200 people. So for your problem, it'll be an M&M bag with how many M&Ms in it, right? And then you will have what you actually observe in your bag, or in this case from the sample right here. And then you need to conduct a hypothesis test. Now here's the thing. A TID3 will not run this test. Only the TID4s and a Statcrunch will do this test for you. So I'm going to show you how to do it with both of them. So let me grab the calculator first. All right, so let me make that smaller just so you can see. Now I've gone to Stat, Edit, number 1. And I'm going to type in my values. It doesn't really matter which column you do first. I'll do observed first. So I'm going to type in 86, enter, 62, 34. There we go. And go to the right. You just have to remember which one you put where. So I'll just try to remember that L1 has my observed values. Oops, let me make that bigger. And L2 has my expected values. All right, so then you go to Stat, Tests, and it's at the bottom. So actually, if you kind of go up, you'll start at the bottom of the list, and it's right there. GOF, Goodness of Fit Test. So that's the one you want to do. So let me grab that. Letter D, enter. And it's asking, where's my observed, where's my expected? Oh, this worked out perfectly. My observed is in L1. My expected is in L2. My degrees of freedom. All right, let me go back. Degrees of freedom is in this place somewhere. It is right here, k minus 1 degrees of freedom, where k is the number of categories you have. So if we look at our problem right here, we have 5 categories. So our degrees of freedom would be 4, n minus 1, so 5 minus 1, or k minus 1, excuse me. So let me go back to the calculator, and I will type in 4, enter. And I don't really care about color. If you don't have a color calculator, then you don't even have that. And press calculate. And there it is. There's the p-value. There's the chi-square test statistic. There's my degrees of freedom. All right, let me see if that matches up. Hey, it does. See, this is what Statcrunch gives us. 65.2 for the chi-square, 65.2 for the chi-square. P-value is 2.29 e negative 13. That means it's 0.0000000000002, right? So 12 zeros and then a 2. So really, 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 really small. Statcrunch basically quits after a few decimal places. So if it's that low, it's just going to say that it's really small, less than 0.0001. So that's how to do it with a calculator. But again, not all calculators have the goodness of fit test in them. So if your calculator does not, that's okay. You can still do this problem with Statcrunch. Now to get to Statcrunch, you just open up the web and go to www.statcrunch.com. And then you're going to use your same username and password that you used to get into MyMathLab, whatever that might be, because once you have access to MyMathLab, you have access to this for free. Nice. Okay, so then, let's see here. We need to click on Open Statcrunch. And then go to Stat. And goodness of fit right there. We're doing a chi-square test. Oh, rats. We're going to have to put those numbers in first, though. So they won't know what the heck we're doing otherwise. All right, so this was my expected values. Let me go paste these in here. You could just type them as well. And that's what I'm going to do for the other ones. I'm going to type. I'll make this bigger so you can see it. All right, so where were those? There they are. So 86. Click 86, 62, 34, 14, 4. Let me go up to the variable name and I'm going to change it. These were observed. This was expected. There we go. You have to, when you go up in these names, you have to delete variable 3, VAR3, if you want to type over that, just by the way. So you kind of hit backspace, make variable part go away, and then type in whatever you want. All right, so let me go back to stat. I want goodness of fit. I'm going to do a chi-square test. It's going to ask you where's your observed, which for me was observed. Expected was expected. Oopsie, let me make this bigger so you can see it. And then I click compute. And there it is. It figures it all out for me. Nothing to it. And if I wanted to print this, I could just click print. And it would show up and I could print it as a sheet. Nice, huh? All right, so that's how to do a goodness of fit test with either the calculator or with Statcrunch. You only have access to Statcrunch if you have access to MyMathLab. So make sure that you have that and you use the same username and password that you used to get into MyMathLab. If you don't have MyMathLab, then you can use a TI-84 calculator. That would work too. All right, I hope that helps.